Guys, deluded, I'm back again. Obviously, Arsenal 8, Borehamwood 0. Our first game under Unai Emery, our first pre-season game, be it of sorts, our first friendly. Well, it's not officially our first official game. Yeah, man, it's pre-season and it is what it is. So, yeah, let's crack on. Obviously, 8 goals. I mean, no disrespect to Borehamwood, but we can't get carried away. I know Emery Smith was balling out today. Nelson, Maitland-Niles, all Aubameyang, Lacazette. It was lovely football on a general note today, but without disrespecting Borehamwood, we can't draw too many conclusions because even if we're half fit, that is what you should be doing more or less against that sort of opposition. So it was nice. Actually, on that sort of thing, before I begin as well, I like how Unai Emery at every sort of incident. While we felt guilty throughout the whole game at times, if I'm being cynical, of being a bit passive, being a bit complacent, and letting complacency creep into how we're playing, especially defensively. He was trying to stamp that out. You saw that Spanish passion, more sort of thing. So that was nice. But yeah, moving on from that, we know it's our first game. The World Cup players that have played in the World Cup, we're not going to feature today. Ozil, Iwobi, Torreira new signing. Many other examples, not that many of us went to the World Cup, but we're still going to see a strong team. And for the ones that, whether they're trying to put themselves in the shop window, whether they're trying to have a future here, or whether they're young pros trying to show that they can go on a tour of pre-season, there was a point to proving our first game, to be fair. Yes, the players are going to be 50% fit, but this is why we do pre-season and them things. And like I said, no disrespect to Borehamwood, but at the same time, they've got a manager that's in his 30s. He's got them promotion, got them to a cup final at Wembley and broken some other records. A couple of their players have been on the academy circuit before, like Bolanta and a former player in Ferreira at Arsenal. So, yeah, man, we can't underestimate them. While we'll clearly be superior tactically, they've got a point to prove. And this is the games that they're looking at. They're really thinking of playing, because no, not to gas Arsenal, but they don't play against this sort of side too often, whether it's a weakened team or not. So yeah, obviously I'll say 2-2 was in the lineup as well. And to be honest, the first 10 minutes, great goal from Aubameyang, obviously in the 6th minute, cracker of a shot. I think Willock played him in, and yeah. But you saw us playing lovely football. You saw Lacazette, you saw Aubameyang playing well. You actually, interestingly enough, there's a lot of talk about which one is going to play. Is one going to get on the bench? Is Lacazette's career over here before it's done? And they both played together. They linked up well. What I like, they both dropped deep as well. I'll make a tactics video about this, but they dropped very deep. And then you saw the other attacking players, Smith Rowe, Nelson, Maitland-Niles, Joe Willock to a degree, Ose 2-2 down the left-hand side, getting forward, taking advantage of the space that's created, and it was lovely. It was compact. It was compact football, but it was consistent. It was there was a lot of runners, and they're making a lot of space, and it just shows you can take principles of Wenger and craft it to your own. And considering we're very compact, and we've been for years creaming out for some depth in an attacking sense out wide, I think our fullbacks did all right in the first half. Bellerin could have done a bit better. But yeah, man, I think before we scored our first, there's no point in me talking about all the goals here, people. Like, there's a ridiculous amount of goals here. Lovely to see Aubameyang got his hat-trick. Obviously, the second goal was great play for Maitland-Niles, lovely trickery, crossed it in. Then obviously the third was a penalty. But yeah, man, it was decent. I did feel Joe Willock obviously I'm not saying you have to try too hard. You don't want players to over-impress, but I did think these are the sort of games where not just him, a lot of them could show a bit more tactically. I felt he played some good passes. When he was playing the eye of a needle pass, it was coming off. In fact, the man even got an assist today. But I just felt he could have done that a bit more in particular, because I know Willock's got that in his locker. Yeah, you'd probably want to see a bit more from Bellerin. I was impressed with Nelson and Maitland-Niles. They had a bit between their teeth. As well, I impressed with Emery Smith, especially, the 30th minute when Lacazette scored, 30-something minute when Lacazette made it 4 or 5. I've lost count. Wait. No, I'm missing out a goal here, but people. 4 obviously, Reece Nelson scored a lovely volley, but now you're back with me. That's 4 goals. The 5th, lovely counter-attacking move from Emery Smith, and that's one of his strengths and why he's clearly being moved into a central position. That change of pace, that balance, especially if we're going to play slightly more counter-attacking football, you want to see that. And it was a lovely move. I think obviously he fed it to Aubameyang and then Lacazette slotted. Or if it wasn't that move that led to the goal, there was definitely a few incidences where Emery Smith demonstrated that. I was impressed with Ose 2-2 down the left, considering that's not his side. Defensively, not just him, Socrates did lapse a bit, and there was a couple crosses and stuff, especially, I'd say, within the last, there was from the 25th minute to around the 30th minute, there was a bit where the game became a bit end-to-end and stuff, and we were switching off, and they were putting in a couple crosses, and there was definitely one check had to be equal to make something happen. So there was some old habits creeping into our game. Osei Tutu needs to improve defensively, but he never shied away. He won some good duels. He got down the left-hand side, considering that's not his strongest side. He showed it. He showed what he's on, and all he's lacking clearly is experience. And within the next 18 months or so, he's going to get that. I mean, he's going to learn a lot from Liechtenstein as well, who is going to be in direct competition with Bellerin. Because if you look at the hierarchy, you like to think Bellerin is first choice. Liechtenstein, and then Osei Tutu is third in line at this moment in time. So yeah, Nelson, Emery, Smith, we're playing lovely football, we're balling out, we're probably enjoying it a bit too much at times. I'm very impressed with Lacazette and Aubameyang's link-up play, whether both are splitting, whether both are coming deep, whether runs running in, or they're just linking up. I felt Socrates at times standards were dropping as well, but considering we're 50% fit, we're more or less doing what's required in the first half. To be completely fair with you. So yeah, man, I think it's 5-0 or so. At the halftime interval, when we mean where we get let off, where we start where we mean to go on, or whatever the saying is. And it's lovely. Another youngster with a point to prove. Nketiah, he done his thing for England when he went away earlier in pre-season. Very impressive for them. Last season he had a good one, and he picked up where he left off. Lovely goal. It was a lovely move between Jeff and Ramsey, and I think Mkhitaryan and Kohler's the one to slot in. I think there was a lot of good passages of play. It's hard to remember them directly, people. But it was a lovely, and it was a lovely ball in, and it showed why he's a good striker. You sniff danger. Not even just that. I know I'm cheating a bit, but the last goal we scored, Mkhitaryan's, that was a great goal. Did you see the flick from Eddie Nketiah? I always say to you lot, yes, because he scores bare goals and stuff like that, and at the end of the day, as a striker, that's all people care about. Is good, but for me, I don't like how people just label him a poacher, because he's got excellent link-up plays, pretty strong despite his frame, which people use to write him off. He reminds me a bit of Defoe to a degree. He works the channels very well, and Nketiah is a very good player in my opinion. And yeah, like it's 6-0. I don't think Jeff got the 7th. Lovely bit of play. He's been playing good at this moment, and you love to see him get a chance, and he scored from long range again. Because of the quality, we can't get too ahead of ourselves, people. And then obviously the last one is a lovely bit of play with Mkhitaryan, and he slots it in and he finishes it. So yeah, it's 8-0 again. I don't want to discredit Borehamwood, but this is a result you expect. But considering we're 50% fit, there's a lot of positives to take. It's nice to see how the players were adapting. It's nice to see how the players, especially in the first half, when they were swapping, when they were defending, the little defending we had to do, they were pointing at each other like that's where you need to be. It's nice to see that proactiveness. Obviously, it's nice that Eddie Nketiah, Emery Smith in particular, Joe Willock to a degree, Osei Tutu for me, Jeff, Nelson, Maitland, all these young players got opportunities and took them, because we're going on tour soon. I'm pretty sure one of you might have to miss out, or some of you have to miss out because of the where you still might go, but you might not play, so what's the point? Because of the internationals like Iwobi, Ozil, Torreira's going to miss out, El Nene, all of these people coming back. But it was nice. It was compact, interchanging football we saw, so there was a lot of positives to take. For me as well, Aubameyang and Lacazette, it will get lost between everything, especially between Emery Smith's performance, but it was nice to see them both on the pitch. It was nice to see the link-up play between them. I'm so sure, wait, did I say Lacazette's goal, people? I might have missed it out, but yeah, apart from the only things I can be, if I'm being cynical, pardon me, is at times probably a bit too passive, probably enjoying ourselves a bit too much. Standards dropped with the couple opportunities, especially in the first half, that Borehamwood were presented. Yeah, a couple players like Bellerin and maybe Joe Willock could have asserted themselves a bit more, in my opinion. But yeah, it was a decent game. I felt Perez, in his little opportunity, he did his thing as well. I wanted Jeff to stay on the pitch. It was a bit of a vial, but it was nice to see Guedezi get a couple touches and them things there. So yeah, we don't play for like 12 days against, I believe we play Atletico. It could be PSG, forgive me if I'm wrong, people, but it is what it is. We now look to Singapore. Some of these players put themselves in a good opportunity to go on the tour. And yeah, Arsenal 8, people. Borehamwood 0. First pre-season game ticked off. We move forward and then we look forward to Manchester City, if you can say that, on the first game of the season at the Emirates. Guys, deluded. I'm out.